I am a nomad. Where am I going? What is the philosophy of a nomad? At least on my terms, and how I define what a nomad is. You awake as a child and realize that one day you are faced with the mere fact that you're going to die. Everything that you store up here, everything you accomplish here, everything that you think is important here is really futile. It's all in vain. For surely you're going to die and you're not going to carry it on. You watch and watch and watch people die before you, only to have people fight over what you have. Their traditions did not save them. Their medals of honor did not do anything to them. So what was really important while we're here? Was schooling important? Was your job and career important? Was your family really important? The things that you thought you had become, did they really matter when you passed over from this life unto death? So what are we really doing here? Who am I? What am I? Where am I really going? A nomad goes down a road. He goes from here to there, back over there, to back over here again. He really seems like he has no purpose in life. But what is he really doing? What is he really seeking? Is he not seeking the truth? Did he not shed away as much materialism that he could? Because he knew the materialism was just dragging him down to where he needed to go. Where am I? Who am I? Am I flesh, or am I more than flesh? As my spirit leaves my flesh, where did it go? These are the things a nomad contemplates in his mind and what he must be doing. He's not concerned about the stock markets or what's going to happen today or tomorrow. He's only concerned with what his spirit is. His flesh is no more than a house for what contains inside, but the spirit. This flesh is nothing more than a vessel to get him to where he needs to go while he's here. Just like a car, the car is not the person, but the driver who is the person. It is the soul of the car, and it tells the car where to go, what to do, and how to get there. But once the person steps out of the car matters no more anymore. So, when I step out of my body and go to the spirit world, my flesh counts for nothing anymore. So, who am I in the spirit? The Bible tells me I'm a child of God. And so, it also tells me not to focus on this world, which would make common sense if you really think about it. Do I really need God to tell me not to focus on this world when in reality I see people dying every day and all that they add up to be equals nothing in the end? Surely some of their traditions might be passed on to others, but did they really solve anything? History keeps repeating itself over and over and over. Did people really learn from the fathers before them? I don't think so. I think what really matters and what really needs to focus on is where you're going after you leave here. And I really believe that's why Jesus would say, store your riches up in your heart. For where your heart is where you'll really be. What you think controls what your heart is going to do. So if you're being controlled by your own desires and wants, then your heart is going to be controlled by its own evils. A nomad tries to strip away all that he knows, what he's been taught, to find out who he really is. And he wanders, and he goes from here to there seeking, only to find who he really is. He is now flesh, but flesh counts for nothing. Am I concerned with my flesh? Only to maintain it as a vessel, just like a person maintains a car. You got to change the oil, you have to rotate the tires, and use a bath every once in a while. That's all the car is important for, is to maintain it so you can get back and forth to where you're going. That's why you need to take care of your house, your temple. It is a vessel that your spirit is using. If you don't maintain it, it falls apart. If it falls apart, it does not get you where you need to go while you're here. But in the result, when you step outside of your flesh and you look back at yourself and all your accomplishments, did it really matter? And that's what a nomad is walking around, trying to decide what really matters. Ecclesiastes is a perfect example of what I'm talking about of a nomadic life. Even though that King Solomon had everything he ever wanted, he came to the conclusion that none of it really mattered. The man who works hard and the man who works little all ends up in the same fate, death. Did the man who created a lot, who stored up a lot, have any advantage over the person who did not? Is all the work and toil really worth it? Or could we just sit down and relax and enjoy the beauty that surrounds us? It's all up to you and what you feel like you need to do. But in the end result, what really matters is what you did here that affects your life to come, your spirit. So that's what's really important. Getting your spirit right. Not seeking food and pleasures, not seeking things that make you feel comfortable. You have to come to terms and face those fears. A real person with faith is a person that has no fear, for love has no fear. It learns to cope with the mere fact that it needs to live outside of the body, outside of what your comfort zones are normally on. A nomad may be in the weather, may not have the luxuries that you have, but the luxury they do have is the freedom and the peace that a normal society person would never have. They come and go and they learn from God, and God teaches them. The things that are surrounding me are not mine. I do not own any of these things. This is not even my house. I come and I go and I leave and I return. But what really matters? If your soul is what really matters, then what are we supposed to be doing to get our soul prepared? I'm not talking about just in religious format. I'm talking about in reality. These are all questions that anybody can ask, with or without God in the equation. We all know we're going to die. Has anybody ever escaped death? We have the Bible that tells us what's going to happen, or what could happen, on the choices that we make here. Somebody may else have a religion that tells them what happens. That's what you really need to seek out. You need to seek out that truth, and that truth will find you. And you'll know that either God is right, or everything that you ever thought about God was wrong. Christianity as a whole Is it based on God's truth, or is it based on man's tradition? Is it based on worldly paganistic ideas, or is it based on the biblical truth of God? These things you will seek out, and you will find the truth. What really matters in a nomad? What is he really doing? Is he not seeking to better his soul and his spirit? Surely he must eat, surely he must be clothed. But as long as you have these things, what else does it really matter that you need here? Keeping this seems logical if you think about it, but people think it's insane. Why is it insane? Think about it. You all know you're going to die. So why are you filling a void until that time comes to try to make you forget that that day will soon come? Why not face that day today and become dead already to this world? I'm not talking about committing suicide. I'm not talking about giving up on your life. I'm talking about separating yourself from this world. Because this world doesn't matter. This world doesn't end up to be who you're going to be or who you've been all along. Who were you before you entered this world? And who are you going to be after you leave this world? God tells us we're a child of God. And he asks us to return to him. We left him, we came here, and he wants us to come back. So what are we really here for? Are we not here to test ourselves, to find out what we really want in life? Do we want God, our Father, or do we want our own desires? Your actions tell you exactly where you are and where you stand. If you're hoarding things in life, your actions have told you what you really believe. I don't need to ask what your religion is. Your actions are speaking for yourself. I can tell the tree by the fruit because the fruit is bearing certain things. If you're concerned about what you have here, then I know where you stand. Your own fear is causing you to not look at the truth, that we will die. A nomad comes to that term. A nomad seeks out that. He doesn't run from death, but he faces it head on. He knows he's already dead in the flesh, but he knows a secret. He knows he is spirit, and that death has no control over him. He's just passing through. Does winter really control what spring will happen? Surely things must die, things must pass along, so that other things could be reborn. Are we not just evolving into different things to be better in the spirit? I'm not talking about reincarnation. There is no reincarnation. There's only the development of the soul. Does a child reincarnate into a teenager? Does a teenager reincarnate into a young adult? Does a young adult reincarnate into an older adult? Use common sense. It is a progression of growing, and the spirit is growing, and life here is but a growing tool to see what you really are and what you're really seeking. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of the philosophy of a nomadic man. I don't own anything here but my own thoughts.